Alright, here we go, guys. It is a best of 5. Let's get that scoreboard up in the bottom. This is game 1 of the best of 5. Down here in the bottom right, representing Storm Gaming, a man who is always told that he knows nothing by those elitist Europeans, but in the end, he is capable of coming back to life, killing a fuckload of people, and fighting off zombies and undead and all that sort of shit. His name is Jonsnow. That was a bit of a random introduction. I didn't know where I was going with it. I tried to roll with it, and it ended up going literally nowhere. But he's going 14 gas, 14 pool, guys. So this is a very aggressive opening. Reminds me of Scarlet's build up against Innovation in the Season 1 GSL round of 32, I believe it was. Up here in the top left-hand side, guys, in the red, the Terran player, representing Rise Esports, it is Future. And Future's actually going to be going for a command center first. Oh shit, that's ballsy. Alright. Damn. That's actually exciting, dude. So, I have not seen a command center first against Zerg in a while. It's interesting, right? Because there's really only one way I've seen it in recent history, which is barracks into double gas. And going straight up into like factory and starport and stuff. So you still try and play like the Hellions and the Banshees. You can go into mech off that. The old style you guys might remember from like Bomber and the old days where you'd go 3 barracks and then take the gases. Really just too immobile. Terran players felt like the Zerg could either just drone insanely hard or the Zerg player could go completely all in and you wouldn't really be sure which one it was. You couldn't apply pressure. And it was just such a blind game plan, it was hard to get solid results. Speaking of going all in, there's no bunker. Future has nothing right now, and this 14-14 is massing lings across the map. This could just be a build order win. Jonsnow thinks there's a Reaper on the way, so his lings are trying to dodge it. Now his Overlord is going to spot this command center first. Up until then, I think he's hiding with the lings because he thinks there might be a Reaper chilling out here. But he's going to see that CC, and he's got to feel so good. What a way to start a series. Jonsnow taking a huge gamble on this aggression. Actually, Future, raise the door. No! Oh my god! What was that he cancelled? Wasn't that a factory? Oh my god, that's got to be a misclick. Oh man, he bounces a Zergling to the inside of his wall. I guess that's okay. He does trap it. That can lift off. And this could have actually been okay, but was that a factory? What was that he canceled? I'm going to have to go back and check. My bad. I feel like it was his factory that was already on the way, but maybe I'm imagining things. Either way, he's going to take a little bit of damage. He can wall off now, so I mean, the fact that the command center can lift, this actually plays into Future's favor. If he went for a delayed command center after Reaper, the Reaper gets overwhelmed by the lings, the command center dies. Because it was already finished, he just lifts it up and is like, yeah, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? And he's still in the worker lead. Obviously, the natural's up for Jonsnow, and I mean, the awkward thing here is you really need Hellions as Future. You need to get out there. You need to push him back. He's actually going to go for a fast third CC. I really wish he put that a little bit further to the right, because I think if these Zerglings poke up this ramp, or this Overlord pokes in, it will see it almost immediately, but I guess Future doesn't know the Overlord's there. No, he does actually know that. Okay. This command center's thinking about going to the back door. Single Hellion is about to finally come out. Third base is on the way. Jonsnow macroing out of this really smoothly. And I mean, he's just got too much comfort right now because that factory not getting down there very quickly. These Hellions, of course, they don't know how many lings there are, so they're very afraid of getting surrounded. Oh my god. Ooh, does lose the first Hellion. Oh my god. Oh my god, he doesn't actually... Okay, I mean, this is not too bad. He'll lose a few Marines. It's not what he wanted, but his Hellions will pop. He's not going to lose any more workers, I don't think. Oh god, he's going to lose the Reaper as well. This is so bad psychologically for Future. How do you hang on from here, man? It's so tough to get back in the game at this point. Those Hellions are now out. He's got a Raven on the way. He's got Banshee on the way. He's got Cloak. He's got Hellions. He's dropping mules on the back base, making the best of a bad situation. He's still only down about 4 workers. And I mean, what does Jonsnow have for defense? Just 3 queens right now, no fighting units out. So, I mean, initially, I think the fact that the command center doesn't go down makes it really good for Future. But losing that Hellion, losing a few Marines, the Reaper, it just hurts his ability to push back out on the map. Whereas if he had 6 Hellions knocking on the doorstep, he could dive in and kill all of the drones. Instead, he's kind of pinned back. He doesn't know what's happening in the map. This Overlord sees everything. Jonsnow's got all the comfort. I mean, at this point, it's not just about mathematically what's out, it's about the information both players have. And Jonsnow has all the info, knows exactly what he's up against. He's like, yeah, you can poke with some Hellions and Reapers. I'll just build a few more Queens. Surprisingly, no lair started yet. There we go. I was about to say, if you're not getting spores yet, you really do want to be getting that lair. Starting up just a single spore on the third. We'll no doubt start one in the main and the natural as well. This Overlord looks like it will finally go down to this Marine. We've got Stim on the way. Once again, though, Jonsnow knows what he's up against. He knows it's not a mech follow-up. He sees it. His Overlord turns around. He's like, okay, you're going 3 barracks. Cool. Guess what? I know everything that's happening in this game. This Banshee comes down, does get a single Zergling kill. Gonna go towards the main base. Jonsnow, of course, should send another Queen up there to support. One Queen not particularly effective at chasing that Banshee off. It's gonna look for main-arding workers, as well as these ones on the edge. Does force the pullback. Nice pullback by Jonsnow. Doesn't lose any. Banshee already getting down low to half alive, and we are on Eastern US. Just double checking that it didn't screw up which server. So we're just gonna give him a second to figure that one out, guys. And hopefully we get back into game in a moment. Thanks for the information. Raw meat delivery. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. You know what? This is what Twitch is about. It's when people wants to share random facts which no one in the world wants to listen to. I'm here and I will listen to your random pieces of information. Even if it is about wieners being soft or weird shit like that, you fucking freaks. Obviously, I am joking. If you keep spamming shit like that, I will ban you. Just to clarify. I don't mind a little bit of fun, but there is such a thing as too much fun, mother truckers. And I don't like too much fun. It's the sort of thing that people, you know, throw kids into ball pits. They go, you can't have too much fun. There's colored balls everywhere. You're falling around. You're in one of those little ball cages. The children are in there screaming. They're like, let me out, mum and dad. This place is fucking scary. But no, oh, get in there, have some fun while you're drowning in a pack of booger-covered fucking plastic balls. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Thank you, Kalunkis, with the 2-month resub. Random fact, male rabbits are called bucks. Are they? Isn't that just deer? Are male rabbits really called bucks? We're just gonna talk about random shit. Sorry, guys. Okay, go. I forgot they couldn't unpause. 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Game resumed.
I was like, I'll just leave them to figure that out while I look at chat. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. They're actually ready. So are they called, can someone Google that for me? I was about to Google it, but then I had to get back in game. Now I'm kind of sad. All right. So double upgrades are going to be starting up. Oh no, he forgot his armor. Okay, no, he remembered it. Good job by Future double checking that. Oh, there we go. Finally, he finds a little bit of damage. I mean, the work account's not too bad for Future. I just feel like psychologically Jonsnow has a nice edge right now. And if he can get a few more drones, keep these Banshees alive, just decloak, come back later. I think just leave them in this corner. He's not really going to... I mean, yeah, he's going to come in from this angle. Jonsnow's not really in position. Bad focus fire. Future's still only at 5 worker kills. Right now, he's sinking a lot of APM into this, which... I mean, he's macroing flawlessly. This is the point where I'd be like, Pig, stop macroing your Banshees, go macro. Apparently, Future's good enough to do both. He's a lot better than I am. Oh, no! Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay. Gonna grab a few drones. Not bad. That drone. Oh, my God. He did not want to live. Okay, Banshee is gonna go down now. Good defense by Jonsnow. At the same time, though... Oh, shit. Hellions came in and actually just got a few drones there. Was that all the Hellions? Indeed, I think it was. So I think... Killed a bunch of Zerglings there as well. Shit, sorry guys, bad observing. I was just staring at those Banshees for way too long. Terrible observer here. Rip me. Marines and tanks getting ready to push out as well. The first 2 medevacs are almost here. Stim is done. Shield's only just starting though. Oh yeah, that's... I was about to say, Jonsnow, that is a ballsy move, dude. You don't try to jump on a bunch of Marines when they're in that number. It was like one of those things, you're like, if you had 20 more Zerglings, maybe... But good call by Jonsnow to retreat, trying to make Banelings. He's already going into Hydras. Mega early Hydra production. Holy shit, these greedy Zergs, man. 67 drones straight into Hydras and Banes. He's got great creep spread, though. I think he can keep himself safe. I mean, where do you even push his Future? You're like, yeah, I've got 2 siege tanks, but what do? You put them there? He's gonna, okay, he's gonna do a just creep delaying push. He's not really trying to do damage. He's just trying to make sure the 4th doesn't get droned. Yeah, it's hard to engage through that grid, man. These purple things are movement blockers for any new viewers. You actually can't move through them. So ranged units like the Marines, especially with the siege tanks covering them, pretty good defensible location. But he's not actually directly threatening that hatch. So Jonsnow just tucks it in, pulls back inside his base. He says, it's all right. It's all right. Respread the creep, and he's got some Zerglings out there as well, which Future will be finding back at home. We are seeing 2-1 start up. Oh, actually a drop split off to clear up some more creep. I love this move by Future. Cleaning up the Zerglings, pulling back with his valuable units, leaving a single drop, a very small commitment out on the map. His 2-2 is what he needs to start yesterday, though. He's got 7 medevacs. That's more than enough. Whoa. Good. That was good. Marine for a Baneling, always a good trade. Where is the 2-2, though? He's got so many medevacs. Oh, no! He forgot his armory. You're kidding me. Oh, that's huge. That's really bad. Like I said earlier, I mean, the way this game opened up, it gives so much more confidence to Jonsnow. He's got the information. He kind of knows what's happening. Future hasn't really had as much control over this game and what's going on. And now, I mean, he could have had 2-2 at the same time as Future had 2-1. That would have been awesome. That would have been great. But now it's like, are you even going to have 2-2 before Ultras finish? Like, the Hive's on the way. There's 5 gas play, now going up to 7 gas is Jonsnow, leaving 1 gas in the main untaken, so that he has plenty of minerals for mass Zerglings in this composition. Good way to crush any mid-game pushes. We've still only got 1 factory building siege tanks as well. So I think Future might just have to push this one really late, and that's always a nightmare. I haven't seen Future's Raven play, but I feel like there's very few players who can really compete in that late stage with the Ravens, because it takes a bunch of practice, and most Terrans try to finish the game before they're like, I would not expect... Oh my god, is he just going to go for it? Jonsnow, realizing the tanks are on siege, goes for it. An absolutely psychotic engagement. Gets massacred, does take out 3 or 4 siege tanks. I think Future didn't even believe what he was seeing. He was like, nah, you're going to turn around. So he took an extra second to siege up there. But he still takes a pretty decent trade. He's got 2 tanks building at a time now. There's just not that much Hydra Bane, but I think with the Zergling reinforced, this amount of Speed Banes, he will be okay. He's deep on creep. He's deep on creep. Oh god, this is so scary for Future, this creep. He's got to wait for it to retreat. You can see it's slowly pulling back. The tiles underneath slowly being revealed. It's like he's just cleaned the bathroom, you know? But there was some real deep mold in there. It takes a while to get rid of that. A Zergling counterattack washes up on nothing. I'm loving the way Future's using these terrain blockers. He wants to force him into this somewhat of a choke point, especially with the reinforce coming. He is, of course, pushing that creep back. A 5th base is up. 80 drones are down for Jonsnow. He's taken that gas, but under the pressure, he has not put workers on it yet. Chitinous plating will be starting up momentarily. Ooh, a small number of Lingbane goes in, and it all falls, including a Hydra. The creep tumor's going down. The creep getting pushed back. Future really finding ground in this game. The next move for Jonsnow is the Vipers. He needs to land Blinding Clouds. If he can land that correctly, he will do it. Something we've seen Future lose to in his recent Terran vs. Zerg matches is specifically that. His siege tanks being clumped and Blinding Clouds landing on them. He often gets to a very even situation here, but his siege tanks are so clumped. He's going to have to either focus fire those Vipers or spread out these siege tanks. I don't think he realizes that there's actually these Vipers already out. His siege tanks are moving forward. Those siege tanks, they're still too clumped, man. Oh, this is so frightening. He's mostly marine focused. Chitinous plating is only about 30 seconds from finishing. He's taking great trades here. He's up about 3,000 resources lost, but he doesn't have Marauder production. He doesn't have Liberators out until just now. He's got 1 out, 2 more on the way. They're not going to be ready in time for this Ultra Engage. He's waiting for the upgrades, is Jonsnow. When +2 Carapace finishes, that's like the latest he will break this, I think. Future doing some nice hot pickup micro. You got to keep those tanks spread out though, buddy. 1 Blinding Cloud there, 1 there, and all of his artillery fire is gone. The spread from Jonsnow is pretty nice, and I think he might have had enough. Chitinous plating 4 seconds away from finishing. Chitinous plating is done. 2, 3 ultras on the field. 2 more about to pop. He's going to spring the trap. He sees the Liberators come in. He knows he needs to try and engage before those. A great Blinding Cloud there, and there goes the killer Blinding Cloud on the back line. I mean, Future's army looked like it was going to get cleaned up either way, to be honest. With the Chitinous plating out, and obviously only 2-2 upgrades up against the Chitinous plating ultras. The +2 Carapace only just kicks in. The Marines are microing their little hearts out. It's just, these are Ultralisks, man. They don't care about Marines. And there is no 2nd or 3rd starport. There are no ghosts. Future's push held. The Ultralisk counterattack looking very frightening. Future will hang on to his 4th base. But there's a healthy 5th for Zerg. Jonsnow has room. He's rebuilding his spawning pool and his spire because an Ultralisk got trapped. He had to kill his own spawning pool to let this Ultra out. That's hilarious. We've got a spire on the way in the back. Obviously wants to add in Corruptors because basically there's a push and pull here in terms of unit counters, right? You go biotank at a certain number, that counters Hydras. The Zerg tries to get Ultras out, that counteracts the Marines and Siege tanks. When the Siege tank counts high enough, though, and the positioning is good enough, sometimes they can still beat it, especially with a few Liberators. That is where, of course, the Vipers come in. Vipers can abduct Liberators to pull them out of Siege mode. They can Blinding Cloud Siege tanks. At that point, the Terran often goes to large Liberator bio counts to the point where you actually don't have enough abducts to get rid of all of them. At that point, you have a pack of Corruptors to actually shoot down those units as well. Look at this cheeky Hydralisk from Jonsnow. Look at that! But he's cued it to go back in too early. Yeah, he's going to wait for the scan to dissipate, and then he's going to go back. Oh my god. This is a 9-kill Hydralisk, guys. He's about to get ranked up. That's a 10-kill. Oh my god, you piece of shit. Oh, he's sending a Liberator to deal with it. There we go. Marauder finally will get rid of it. This is just such an annoying move there. Only 53 SCVs for Future. What do we got? Double Lib production, tanks, Marines, Marauders, +3 attack on the way, +1 ship weapons. But there's already Corruptors out. A ton of Ultra Hydra. And it looks like Jonsnow is set to dominate both the ground and the air battle. Future needs to just hang on, try and expand to a new base. And I mean, I feel like Ghosts have got to be the answer at this point. Ghosts counteract the Corruptors. They can counter the Ultras and the Vipers as well. So the Ghosts are kind of the one-size-fits-all response if you can land the spells. But uh-oh! Blinding Cloud all over the Siege tanks in the north of the battle. Jonsnow jumps on it. And Future knocked out of game number 1. He kept taking punches that game, but he fought back and made it a pretty close game. There was definitely a dicey moment there where I think Jonsnow was pretty worried about that 4th base. But in the end, not quite enough. So, Future, I think, obviously, was it a factory cancel at the start of that game, guys? I forgot to rewind and check. I think it must have been a factory, and it must have been a misclick, because it was walling off. Cancelled it, and then he immediately rebuilt it. And I feel like at that early on, something like that makes such a big difference. So, what's next map? Next map is Acid Plant. All right, big maps. These guys are playing big macro maps. All right. Hey, Foxer, what up, dude? Losing SCVs mid-game is infinitely worse for the Terran than the Zerg at this point. It takes too long to replace. Yeah. If you get knocked down to that 50 workers and you don't already have the Zerg in a really kind of compromised position, it's very bad as the Terran. Like, you have to just... You kind of want to just sit there and like try to make Ravens and Ghosts and take a 5th base and just like camp. But like, if the Zerg's good, they're going to cover the whole map and creep, get up everything they want. Like, it's a pretty shitty game plan to get back into it. Is my SC2 group subs only, or is there a way to join, says MC2? Yeah, so if you just join the Discord channel, Demand's already sent you the info there in chat. Get on it and go Zerg. GG, great game 1, guys. Good luck, good luck. Yeah, if you want to join the clan, there's no requirements other than enjoying StarCraft and not being a dick. It's just a community-focused clan. We play a ton of clan wars. We play in different team leagues. But people hear that and they think, oh, so you're going to be like Masters or Gem. No. We're talking Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Masters. I'd say most of the clan is in Platinum to Diamond, probably. But there's some GMs, there's some Masters, there's a good handful of Bronzes and Silvers. The problem with our Bronzes and Silvers is they don't last long because they rank up too friggin' fast and then they end up being Golds and then Platinums and then, you know, they move up the ranks pretty quickly once they join the clan usually. But usually we have new people cycling in that are, you know, Bronze or Silver and all that sort of stuff. We even have some 2v2s, guys. The Discord invite expired? Oh, okay, I think I need to update those commands because we changed the way people get invited. Guys, let's go. It is game number 2. Of this show match, and down here in the bottom right hand side, unfortunately losing game number 1, he is looking to fight his nemesis and finally knock a series off him. He keeps losing these narrow series. He lost game 1 to some cheeky aggression. Representing Rise, it is Future. The future of Terran. Up here in the top left hand side in the red, the Zerg player playing for Psystorm Gaming, it is Jonsnow. My man. Jonsnow, once again, being very aggressive here. Holy shit, man. He's doing the same opening. Psycho Jonsnow. I think, oh man, this is so meta. This is just like him being like, I know how Future plays. I'm going to take some gambles and take advantage of him. You know, Jonsnow's the more experienced tournament player. And while Future's been getting better and better at it, he still hasn't really reached that level of consistency someone like Jonsnow has. So I feel like in many situations where he's comfortable, he can easily take Jonsnow down because he's very sound mechanically. His multitasking, his execution's great, but he's doing a blind Reaper expand right now, guys, and this is one of the probably one of the weakest builds against this, I would say, because Jonsnow does get an expand behind it, but basically he's just committing about 14 Zerglings, I think. I think normally they stop about 14 Zerglings. And basically the Reaper's going to get to the other side of the map. He's going to go, oh, that's a really friggin' late hatchery. Shit. Oh, he's going reactor as well. He doesn't even have a Marine behind his wall. Oh, shit. Okay, the Reaper's going to double check. He knows this is likely. Oh, he finds it. Get back up your wall right now. Link speed's almost dead. You've only got 20 seconds, Reaper. If this Reaper doesn't get behind the wall, he is screwed. He's building a second barracks. He's planning to do a 2-1-1, but he's going to need to cancel this command center on the low ground. I think he thinks this is just to pull first 6 Zerglings. He's misjudged the timing. He's misjudged the timing. He doesn't know Zergling speed's about to finish, guys. That Reaper needs to get up there right now. You need to get out. Oh, God, he realizes at the last second. Now, one thing he could do, since he already killed 4 Lings, is he could pull about 10 SCVs and just fight this with the Reaper and the SCVs. It's a ballsy maneuver, but he could do it. Look at that, nice moves, already picking away at these Zerglings. Is he going to do it? I mean, he's got to pull those SCVs now. He's got Marines out. Where are they? Where's the SCV pull? No, he's second guessing himself. If you're going to do this, you need to pull the SCV straight away. Oh, when he ends up losing the command center, it would have been so much better if he just canceled that initially and dropped it. If you're going to fight for that command center, you need to pull SCVs. And it's scary as fuck because you never know if they built this extra wave of Zerglings, but you need to choose one way or the other. Future here being way too indecisive. He still hasn't restarted the command center on the high ground. And this is so scary because there's more Zerglings coming in. He spotted them. Oh, but I don't think he's solid enough on the ramp. Nice grenade. He gets 1 Marine to safety, but the rest gets surrounded. Oh my, it doesn't even get to safety. He knocked 2 Zerglings over as well. Oh man, the Marine barely survives, but everything else goes down. Future's gonna have medevacs, but he's dead. He's dead. That's checkmate. Massive mistake. I honestly think you need to just either pull the SCVs or cancel and drop the command center. You need to choose one or the other. You cannot go for this 50-50 thinking a Reaper and a few Marines is going to beat down those Zerglings because it's never going to work. It's just never going to happen. Unless you are, like, I don't know, innovation. Even then, I can't imagine you're going to do it unless the Zerg screws up. So very sorry about that. I'm not sorry. Very sad that Future wasn't super decisive. So one of the things, a lot of people are like, how do you know this is happening? I think he could have actually told from the Zergling timing that this wasn't a 16 pool. It's a matter of seconds though. And I think if this becomes really common, every Terran player should start memorizing the timing those Zerglings should arrive to try and figure it out. And I guess Zerg could be tricky and just delay the Zerglings to come at the same time, but I feel like most Zergs aren't paying attention to that. So as a Terran, you can actually, and this is something I really should do, but I haven't done as well. I always am confused about what timing I'm being hit at. If you memorize the exact timing those Zerglings show up, as soon as that Reaper spotted that, I think he could have realized it was Ling speed on the way, and then he could react accordingly and actually counter it. He's going to try to counter. And actually, Jonsnow's being a greedy boy. He's trying to get Carapace, which is great against Stim Marines. If Future can get the 3rd, that puts him back in a playable position. It's a friggin' bad position, but it's like, it's something. And actually, Jonsnow might come out and fight this, which is a bad call for Jonsnow. I don't think Jonsnow should fight out here. Future's got this base for sure. I think Future should fight. Yeah, I think this is the right call. Just gun down the Zerglings and the Queens. Fight as best you can. This isn't a full 16 Marines, remember. Medevacs are taking damage. Oh, he's got to get the hatch, though. He can come back and get it with his next medevac, I guess. So that is something. He's just got to keep going. He's got to stay on the aggressive. Yeah, he's got to redrop that and try to get that hatch, I think. If he doesn't get that hatch, he's screwed. But already a huge counter coming across the map. Future's way behind. He's going to need to make a miracle happen. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Burrow those Widow Mines. All the Queens are at the 3rd. They're probably going to transfuse it a few times. That's what I do, just save a bit of energy. Carapace is about to finish. There's a ton of Zerglings out. He's still building them as well, actually. Just off 40 workers. I think that's the right call. Counterattack the natural to do even more economic damage. Future's just like, fuck this. I'm going to try and do damage. Pull up to the high ground. I know I can't defend the low ground. All my depots are in my main. Oh, he's trying to go for Hellbats. Cute. Cute. If he can hit with like 6 Hellbats plus his Marines, he can't lose these Marines though. Yeah, he's got to keep the medevacs healthy. He's got to keep the Marines healthy. Hellbats with Medivacs healing them and Stim Marines with shields behind them is absolutely brutal versus Mass Zergling. But there is a Baneling Nest on the way. I mean, Jonsnow going for a pretty greedy Baneling Nest. I think Future's just so far behind. I don't know if the Hellions slash Hellbats are actually going to hit in time. And he's still trying to just cause damage, cause a reaction. That Baneling Nest will be crucial in fighting this. Obviously, oh my god. Ooh, Jonsnow separating a Zergling to take the Widowmine fire. Oh, very, very cheeky. Nice Widowmine shot there, but Future does save most of the Marines. He's got one last push in him, and here it goes, guys. 6 Hellions. He's rallying a Lib, he's rallying Marines. He knows he's got to kill with this. Jonsnow is under pressure, so he hasn't actually made Banelings, but there we go. Yeah, he makes Banelings now, and that's the right call. Future's going to need the sickest focus fire of all time, the sickest positioning of all time, because this is not an ideal position. We've got +1 Carapace, Mass Queen, Ling, Bane up against Hellbat Marine, already one Hellbat deep in the orange. He does the scan ahead. He knows there's Banelings. Nice spread here from Jonsnow. He wants to come in from multiple angles. He's going to go for it. He's going to try and dive on top of this. Most of the Hellbats have already fallen. Good spreads here from Future, but I don't know if he's got the numbers. That last Hellbat on the front line falls, and it's just Marines. Good spread. Does have a few Hellions there. He can morph those into Hellbats. But there's more Lings, there's more Banes, and there is pretty much an endless reinforce for Jonsnow, as opposed to a trickle of Terran coming down here from Future. Yeah, I mean, he's doing shit really well from behind. It's just one of those things where he's trying to solve an unsolvable equation. So it's going to be a rough start here for Future. Going to be going down 0-2 in this series. I'm just going to put it on Jonsnow's camera here so you guys can see what it looks like to be a god. And we'll see what we do. See what's going on in chat while this game rounds out. See if there's any good questions or anything like that. Pig, give your boy a chance. Dude, Future's an amazing player. I just think this is a hard position. Hard position. Like, I was being very critical that he didn't cancel the command center earlier. It's a hard spot to be in, especially if you haven't played against this build a ton. These weird cheeky Zerglings to cancel the natural are so hard to fight against, but if you memorize your response, it definitely is something you can take on. Queens are going to take down that Lib. Jonsnow, look at this. You can see he's like just massing units. He's like, look, you're on 2 base. I don't actually need to drone up. I've got a 4th hatchery, but it's mostly there for production. That's a terrible engage from Jonsnow. Let's go back to everyone's camera. The Banelings, though, with speed, find the Marines. The Queens come in, clean up the rest. It was a really bad start to the engage, but good follow-up. This Liberator takes out the Queen, actually. Forces all the drones off the line. That's cute. At the same time, Zergling counter comes in. Stim plus SCV pull. Good hold. Oh man, I just wish Future wasn't so far behind. Think he's got some real power to his play here, but no 3rd CC. It's just starting now. Up against a 4 base Zerg who's got the superior upgrades. Damn. Future's fine now. Let's go to Future's camera for a little bit. Let's see what he's trying to achieve here on the back foot. Should Terran just build a command center in the base if you expect a 12 pool, says El Master? That's one way of playing exceptionally safe. We see it sometimes in tournaments. I play pretty cheesy when I play tournaments these days because I'm not as well-rounded with my responses and my macro play. So you'll often see me, players against me, build their command center on the high ground after I kept beating Terrans in tournaments with cheesy builds. So that's one way to do it, to be really safe. Another way is to SCV scout to check what's going on, bring the Reaper home. And if it's this kind of 14 gas, 14 pool, or a 13-12 or anything like that, definitely just cancelling your command center or starting it on the high ground in the first place is a good way to do it. Nice focus fire on the Banes there, man. Future's... He's got some nice mechanics. APM is actually obscene for Jonsnow. I honestly don't know what Jonsnow's clicking on most of the time, but every game he's at like 450. I'm like, what are you actually doing right now? He must just be like holding down rapid fire for creep all the time or something. I don't even know. There's something weird going on with his play. Something weird. Alright, Hive is now on the way. +2 Carapace, about to finish. +2 melee is already done. Future's like, alright, buddy, I'm done. GG's. Anticlimactic finish, but like I said, he's just too far behind, guys. He was just playing it out, seeing if he could find an edge. Nothing wrong with that. Wasn't Jonsnow a Protoss? No, Jonsnow's always been a Zerg as far as I know. Foxer might know. Fox is in tune with the NA scene. These filthy Ling rushes. Me likey. Me likey. Very dirty. So we're discussing the strategy here in chat right now, guys. Jonsnow is actually telling us how to counter it. He's so far ahead in this series, he like gives no fucks. What a gentleman. So he's actually said, look, if it's just a gasless expand with early sixing Lings and you cancel the command center, you're behind. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys an update on our little banter in chat. Basically, yeah, Future's like, what the frack do I do against this? And I was saying, look, you gotta pull SCVs or you've got to cancel the command center and rebuild on the high ground. Johnson was like, well, yeah, I mean, if it's gasless though, you can't cancel the CC or you're way behind. And I'm like, well, yeah, you've got to wait till you see Ling speed like Future did and then cancel the command center, I'm pretty sure. And they're like, oh yeah, I think you're right. And then I accidentally said it all in caps. So I was just like, making loud noises. Okay. All right, guys. We ready? Nathi Rocker, you get a shout in. It's not a shout out, it's the opposite because I live in Australia and everything's upside down. Good luck. Have fun. Tell me when ready, Future. Future says, go in the party chat. All right, we good. We good. Am I playing the winner? I don't know if these guys are good enough to play against me, Rhoda. I think I'd probably beat these guys pretty easily. No, I don't feel like getting spanked today. I already had that on the ladder this morning, so I don't feel like presenting my butt for a paddling by one of these two. I'm sure I could get some cheesy wins off Future maybe. Definitely don't think I'd be able to beat him in a straight up game as Terran or Protoss. Maybe as I don't know. I've been playing him sometimes on ladder and sometimes I do well. Sometimes I get wrecked. But yeah, he would probably wreck me. Jonsnow usually wrecks me. It's pretty brutal, dude. So anyway, guys, let's go into game number 5. Let's do it. Here we go, down here in the bottom left-hand side in the red, representing Psystorm Gaming. He's Jonsnow. You piece of shit, he's doing the exact same build. Up here in the top right-hand side in the blue, it is Future. Oh, Future's so smart. Gigantic brain. Holy shit. I built the command center there. Oh, his brain is so big. I am so... Oh, he's giving me a little bit of a stiffy. But it's a wholesome stiffy, guys. Don't worry. It's not weird. It's not creepy. It's for StarCraft. You can't have a creepy stiffy when it is for StarCraft. It's all kosher here. Don't worry, guys. It's okay. I love it. Low ground wall off. Why not, man? Why not? Your opponent keeps massing Zerglings. Let's go. Let's go. Just use that big brain. Use that big brain, Future. Jonsnow's like, well, you know what? I'm simply going to apply the logic of if it isn't broken, why fix it? And I'm just going to do the exact same thing over and over again. This time he did build one more drone, and so is down one pair of Zerglings. So his economic transition will be slightly better, but I mean, that's still a super late hatchery. He's going to send a drone down in a few seconds to take that. This is still a really tough position. Oh no, the command center's not walling. I guess factory and second depot will still wall off those. So yeah, it should be fine. He's got a Marine first. Oh, Marine first. Oh, he's going to hunt the Overlord. Oh no! Oh no! You didn't get the overload. I mean, actually, it's kind of bad if he stays out there, right? Factory, reactor. And he's coming down to build that second depot for the full wall. Sexy. Future's looking good, guys. Sorry, that's actually like a direct re-joke from Aussie Man Reviews, that one, the Stiffy one. I just thought it was so funny when he said that. I had to use that. That was too good. You think I could Star-Lord Future? Maybe I could, guys. Maybe I could. There was a question. Pig, I'm a long-term fan. Tell the players you need a 20-minute break to go on a walk. You seem tilted right now, and it's not okay to your fans to see you like this. What the fuck? Oh, that's hilarious. No, I mean, I just didn't want to fake up the cast of that game, that's all. This is a great hold. Perfect hold by Future, dudes. Perfect hold. That was beautiful. And now Jonsnow's like, shit. I've got less workers and my naturals just finishing at the same time. Your orbital's halfway done. Oh. Future has got to be feeling good about this. This is his chance to get some momentum back in this series. And this makes me really happy because I hate sponsoring these show matches. Or actually, this is sponsored, to be fair, by someone else. But I hate casting these show matches. Shout out to Cray with a K for sponsoring this. I hate casting it and then you just like get 3-0 and you know the other guy's probably got to the point where he's solved what's losing him the games, but then he doesn't get another chance. The next time they play on ladder, the guy who lost 0-3 probably wins the next bunch of games. But it sucks when we don't get to see that, right? So hopefully here in the show match we see this nice solution working out very well. This low ground wall off, I believe it's sometimes been very weak against certain Ravager timings because, you know, it's quite easy to push up there as opposed to up this ramp. That sort of thing, but it's so good against some of these other things. And oh, dude, it's the Hellbat timing. Armory almost finished in the back. We've got a medevac with 4 Marines, and we've got 5 Hellions on the way, another 2 rallying. That third base is going to go down for sure. Actually, he might even just hit the natural. Yeah, I think hitting the natural is the right call. He can do even more damage. He can go for the drones, dude. He's just going to dive in. There's 0 transfuses. The Hellbat Marine push comes in. Jonsnow is caught with his pants down. His Rotoran isn't finished. And he's just so far behind when that opening falls flat against that wall off. This was a huge gamble from Jonsnow in all 3 games. Finally, Future finds the counter and shuts it down. All 5 Hellbats are still completely healthy right now. That queen in the back, she's doing a good job of hanging on. That queen in the main escapes up the ramp. The drones are all going walkabout. They're going to run up to the third base to try and mine there. That's actually a fantastic save. These Hellbats' life is running low. Still 1 Hellbat in the natural, hoping some drones will pop out so we can kill them. And there we go. I think it's time for Future to focus down a few more workers. If he can get 4 or 5 drones on top of what he's done, it's going to be huge. And oh my god, massive splash. Nice hold position micro from Future. So his units were attacking the units in range of them rather than trying to chase the Zerglings. And here we go. Now we can do some shift focus fire. Guns down all the workers. Massacres that. He's got a Liberator and Cyclones building behind it. His natural is fully saturated. Oh my god. This Hellbat wants to burn those drones so badly, but the Marine is blocking it. And there we go. He's back in the game. My man, Future, takes game number 3. Jonsnow is going to have to finally change his opening from the dirty 14 gas, 14 full Linger Rush. My man! Alright. What's the next map, guys? What is the next map? I believe in the comeback train. The next map is Catalyst. Okay. Small map, an aggressive map. It's also a map without a ramp. You wall off on the low ground here. Again as Future. If I were Jonsnow, considering the way he's played this series, I might just do a 1 base Ravager at this point. Or like a very fast 2 or 2.5 base Ravager Ling. So it's either a 1 base Ravager or do like a 32 drone Ravager Ling timing. Because if he walls off on the low ground, that's super exposed to that. Because there's not even a ramp there. There's no high ground advantage on your wall. You'll just get sieged down so easily. So it's tough. Alright, Jonsnow good to go. Let's see. I hope Future's smart enough to mix it up here. I don't think he should stick with the same response. I think just CC on the high ground or SCV Scout or something like that's got to be the better call here. But I think after losing that Acid Plant game, he lost a lot of confidence in his more generic response. So I think he's kind of focusing just here on like, all right, let's just play with the wall off and simplify things. We'll see. We will find out in a moment. Let's see how he goes. That was like another Terran player compared to game 1 and 2, says Secretan. Yeah, I mean, if you don't take all that damage at the start, and he's actually fighting on an even footing, it's beautiful. Thank you so much, SC Jax. Appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I mean, I've been very guilty of overhyping or trying to get excitement out of a game which is utterly dead and dusted. And thankfully, you know, it's just not worth it. Oh, fuzzy mic. Sorry, guys. Here we go, guys. We are spawning into map number 4. Getting a little bit closer to the comeback. He does need one more game to tie it up. In the top left, in the blue, it is Future. And down here in the bottom right-hand side, in the red, the Zerg player, it is Jonsnow. Yeah, I mean, there were so many easy knowledge mistakes in the first 2 games, says Secretan. Not really. I actually totally disagree, Secretan. I totally disagree. He was forced to try to do magical things with very few resources. So what you got to remember is when a player's behind, these aren't mistakes. Most of these are conscious decisions that were going down for Future. Like, he couldn't wall his natural. Why couldn't he wall his natural? He had to be forced to build depots in his main. So that wasn't really a mistake. That was something where he was just forced into a terrible scenario. He had to keep trying to pressure even while taking damage to counterattacks because he was so far behind, there was no way to catch up economically. So these are very advanced situations where it's easy to watch from the sidelines where we can see everything. And I was being very critical. But keep in mind, I was being very critical because I saw indecisiveness in a situation. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's absolutely... You know, it's these high pressure situations. There's 1,000 things going on and you can watch the best players in the world. And if you're looking for it, you will see a ton of mistakes. Now, you won't see me mention those top level players' mistakes usually. Why? Because I'm usually casting them in a big tournament where it's my job to make them look good to a certain extent. And it just doesn't sound good to focus on their mistakes. But here at home on my stream, I like to do a lot more... you know, I'll criticize players for a big obvious mistake, but I won't criticize all the little ones. Here on my stream, I like these casts to be very education-based. So I'm always looking for, okay, what exactly did he need to do? And let's really highlight where he went wrong in his decision-making, even though it's a little bit hard on the players because it represents them as kind of making more mistakes than they actually are. Once again, guys, he's caught in this crazy situation. Marines on the high ground. He's actually not building any more Marines. He's got to pull SCVs. I think he holds this if he pulls SCVs. He's trying to fight it with the Reaper. Oh, good micro. Good micro, but he's got to pull more. Is he going to do it? There's no more Zerglings being built. Future, you psychopath. Oh, no, the Reaper gets surrounded. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. He finally pulls SCVs. He is going to keep that command center alive, just barely. And there's no more Zerglings on the way, so I think this is still an okay hold for Future. Losing the Reaper sucks because he can't counter-scout. Whereas if you've got a Reaper, you can kind of slide it around the edge of the map and check if there's a follow-up all in. As it is, I think Future... Oh, he's got a Hellion. Actually, that Hellion he could use to go get a little bit of info, as long as he's not too afraid. Command Center is burning. He's going to have to repair that up. This is a much better situation than those first 2 games. So Future here, staying nice and calm. I think this would have backfired really bad if Jonsnow committed as hard as he did on Acid Plant. Remember, on that game, there was another 10 Zerglings that arrived. If they came, they would have got the wraparound. This command center would have gone down. So I feel like Future he kind of danced with death there. He took a bit of a gamble. It paid off. And now he's in a much better position than game 1. Not as good as that last game, where obviously it took no damage. But what did we lose? 2 SCVs? Yeah, 2 SCVs and a Reaper. And a bunch of damage on the command center as well as a big delay. There is a third on the way behind this for Jonsnow. But otherwise, Jonsnow just down at 3 queens. Doesn't really have much else going for him. Hasn't even put back on gas yet. Just going for lots of queens, Zerglings, and creep, and trying to get this map control, get this creep spread out. One of the big problems is Jonsnow doesn't actually have a lot of map vision right now. I'd love to see Future hunt down that Overlord with those Marines, but Overlords have really long vision, so I don't think he spotted the Overlord, and the Overlord's going to get in the back and scout everything. Funnily enough, Jonsnow, I guess he didn't send another Overlord across the map, because he should have someone spotting either there or there. But he skipped it on this game. Instead, he's kept all his Overlords home. Maybe not wanting to feed the Viking, which is such a common starport unit to come first out of that. Banshee and Zergling both spot the... Overlord and Zergling both spot the Banshee. He's going to be doing that. Hellions are going to go across the map. What have we got? Lair on the way. Yep, good reaction to the Banshee. You want to get Overseers, so you've got that mobile detection. Economy-wise, we are seeing a small drone lead for Jonsnow. So Jonsnow is using his information very well. He's trying to get spores. He's trying to get a Roach Warren. But right now, this is a scary moment. 6 Hellions here. He's only got 8 Zerglings and 5 Queens. Where are his Queens? They're not in position. He didn't see this till the last second. Uh-oh. These Hellions going for broke. Already 4 workers going down. Oh man, those drones were stacked on the gas. But Future, he doesn't want to throw these Hellions away. He's going to dive into the main. Good call. And this Banshee up there, oh, flies into the Spore. Micros it away at the last second. Great drone surround by Jonsnow. Shuts down those Hellions. Good reaction under pressure. Only 5 workers going down. Holy shit, Jonsnow. Oh, he handled that bloody well, man. I think most players would have lost a lot more there. Maybe he should have just tried to dive on those drones when they clicked on that gas, but with the Spore Crawler and the Queen in the mineral line, it's hard to squeeze those Hellions past, and the Roach Warren on the backside means they would have had to go so far around, they might have just cornered themselves in the back, allowing times for the Queens and Zerglings to collapse. Builds a Nidus Worm, and then he decides against it. He says, nah, actually, I'm not going to do that. Cancels it. Interesting. This time, Future's also going mech, by the way. Double Armory on the way. He's got a few Cyclones and Hellions out. A big Zergling counterattack is poised. Oh, raises the depot. Okay, you see the difference between my ladder games and Future? Future raises the wall. The thing I kept losing to in the last week over and over was having my wall down and Zerglings running in, but Future knows his business. This Banshee's watching for any big push across the map. It's going to spot those Lings going home. We've got, what, 2 Marines, 2 Cyclones, 2 Hellbats. This is a very little half-assed army. I think Future's got to clump up and get out of there. Just back off. Yeah, I like the scan. Just go home. He's forced Roaches out of Jonsnow. He said, look, you can't just keep building workers non-stop. And his third's going to be saturated almost instantly. So I feel like there's a dangerous moment in the next minute or two where 1-1 Roach speed is going to finish. I guess about 9 minutes is where that dangerous point is going to lie. And there could be a huge Roach push. So if Future has time, I have a lot of confidence in him, but he's got to immediately queue up siege tanks after these Thors finish. And these Thors and the 2 medevacs need to get across the map and try to keep Jonsnow at home. If Jonsnow's really on point, realizing where he is in this game, I think he's going to try to keep the aggression on, even while defending the Thors, or even get over there while the Thors haven't even gotten to his side of the map yet. So rather than focus on defending the 4th, focus on pushing into his opponent, and holy crap! That's a 7-minute 40 hive after opening 14 gas, 14 pool. That's an insanely fast hive considering how this game opened up. He's only at 3 base saturation, just started his 4th, and I think it's just going to be fast Blinding Clouds paired with Mass Roach Ravager. There's this cool timing you can do where you get 3 Vipers really early, hit them with Mass Roaches, and then you go into a more standard Hydra composition and very delayed Broodlords behind that. But it's a nice way to start picking away at the Terran either with a Duct or just smash them with Blinding Cloud. Thors have dropped on the bottom left. They take out the Queen. There's a push here, but the Hellbats are solid, man. And the Siege Tanks I talked about, he built those Siege Tanks on time. Oh, man, yeah. The Roach is trying to run forward to get that Siege Tank. The repair! He repaired the Siege Tank. Future gets the 4th base snipe in the bottom left. I don't think that was cancelled. I think that actually died. And he defends the push at home. This is the scary point I was talking about. Turns out it wasn't so scary. Apparently, Future's in just a bloody good position now. Oh, this is a little bit frightening, though. Ah, shit. Ah, crap. He's got to focus the Queen. Yeah, he didn't focus the Queen. Oh, no. He realized at the last second that that Queen was the problem. Jonsnow being very smart, moving the Queen forward and shooting on those medevacs. One Thor does go down. The other one's going to have to pull back for now. 4th base so delayed, though. Yeah, there's 3 Vipers on the way. He can do that surprising Blinding Cloud timing. Look at this, though. Nice. No, he scanned there. He doesn't know about the hive. He's got no idea. He only saw that when it was turning into a lair way earlier. I like that he's being annoying with the Thor. Okay, he's starting Viking production. Future realizes the threat, maybe knows Jonsnow's style. And he's getting +2 weapons. He's not going for +2 armor just yet. That's not as important. He's got up 3 tech labs, 2 reactors. His production's kind of shit right now, to be fair. I love to power up to about 7-8 factories really fast. Future's not going to have that massive tank production, so his army's very valuable. Like, he's gonna have 2-2. He's gonna be maxed out with a few Vikings. The threat is these Vipers. They've already got energy. In about a minute's time, they can be on this side of the map, and if Future doesn't realize they're coming, doesn't get at least 4 Vikings, preferably 6, then those Vipers are going to be able to come in, land their spells, and get out of there. And that could enable Jonsnow to have a very nice trade. He's using a lot of scans right now to figure out what Jonsnow's doing. Oh, no more Vikings on the way. He's starting Blue Flame, but no more factories, no more Vikings on the way. And that means if Jonsnow can hold this one push, he's back in this game. And he's got a good position. Oh, nice! Banshee is going to come down here. And these Hydras are going to come down. That Overseer will eventually come out. A Roach counterattack from Jonsnow. Overseer. Oh, he actually pulls away his Overseer because the frontal push is already on top of this base. His drones are running. Goes in with the Roach counter. Jonsnow knows he's behind in this game. He's going to kill that base. This hatchery will go down, but as long as he keeps the base in the bottom left alive, that's fine. The Spore lands. The Hydra snipe the Banshee. The Roach counterattack is here, and they're going to find the Siege Tanks. Ooh, a bad start to this for Future here. At home, he's going to take a lot of damage on that third. And here we go. The Abducts start to come in already. One Viper does fall, though. Those two Vikings doing the work. Oh, the Thor and the Viking are doing a lot of damage, but the Vipers do start to pull back. A good volley from the Siege Tanks. The Hellbat's doing some damage, but the Roaches are still running rampant. And remember, there's only 3 Tech Lab factories. There's not that many tanks and Thors coming out. Future still has not evacuated the SCVs, and that's going to be economy damage to the max. His economy is gutted right now. He needs to try to finish with this push. But notice how these Hydras are trying. Oh, the Blinding Cloud. They're trying to engage without the Siege Tanks, and that Blinding Cloud completely eliminates the Siege Tanks. Finally, it wears off, but the Hellbat buff is gone. Jonsnow jumps on the army, takes advantage of the chaos, and he's going to close out this series despite a few dicey moments. Jonsnow says, I've got creep, I've got room, I've got mobility. I'm not just going to engage you head on the way you want. He backstabs, runs the workers away to his extra expansion, and he picks away at Future. If Future was able to defend the Roach counter, I think he could have afforded to take his time with his push on the front, but because he wasn't prepared for that Roach counterattack, it slipped past his army. It just threw him into chaos. He suddenly was like, shit, my army needs to kill you right now. I'm taking too much damage at home. And after that happened, Jonsnow was able to find the proper engage. He picked off a lot of Hellbats, a few Siege Tanks before the real fight started, and by the time Future got his army up there, there was only, what, 3 or 4 Siege Tanks and a Thor? And the Blinding Cloud hit them right in the middle. And you gotta, obviously Future's not sitting there saying, hey, I want to clump up these Siege Tanks. It's just he had to get damage done right then because his economy was wrecked at home. So he went for a hasty setup. He didn't set up his Siege Tanks properly, and they took a lot of damage. Nice pullbacks on the weak Siege Tanks. Bit of nice focus fire from Jonsnow, though. And Jonsnow's still got 80 drones. The scan goes down, sees the full 4th base, and Future knows he's done. Taps out of that game. GG, well played, Jonsnow, with an incredible position there. I love the way he did that. Because remember, that was like even supply when that whole position started. And the thing is, this is the fragility of mech in general, but especially a 5-factory mech push. It's a great way to play mech. You hit this like push really nicely, non-stop tank production. But suddenly, if they just bypass your army, as happened here, then check this Roach movement out. I mean, it was almost lucky, right? That they got past. If he saw that, Future would have been way more prepared. He would have had tank siege like here. Hellbat's already morphed there. But instead, he thinks all the fighting's at home. I think no cancel is pretty greedy. Just dumb. And this is that moment. So we're having a little discussion about this whole 14 gas, 14 pool, which Jonsnow has used so much here. And this is that moment, guys, where this Roach counterattack, how many Roaches is that? 17 Roaches. It's a scary number, man. But if these tanks were sieged back here, or even here, Hellbats and stuff. Oh, these units weren't rallied out as well. Oh. Forgot rally on that 4th and 5th factory, and barely missed seeing the Roach counter that game. Oh man, you have 3 siege tanks and like 3 Hellbats, it wrecks 17 Roaches. Because especially here, this area is actually, even if you lose the 4th, that's not a big deal. It's losing the workers on his third that screwed him. Because they're going to clump up around the edges and on this ramp, like no matter what. Unless they're pre-spread, which the Zerg player is not going to do. But only getting off 2 siege tank shots. Yeah, GG's. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. And then, you know, just really good picking away at it and using the space that he had from Jonsnow. And that's Zerg, right? Zerg is all about not fighting their opponent front on. Every Protoss and Terran player's wish is for the Zerg player to just come and fight their push the moment they get on creep. Every Terran and Protoss player's dream is like, all right, I get everything together, I create this perfect push, and you come and fight me front on. And the Zerg's job is to say, nah, backstab, backstab. Oh, now you're deep on creep, collapse on their main army, but only once they're deep. Only once you get the full surround, or you get, in that case, it was the sick blinding cloud. You know, you get the Hellbats and the tanks separated. Beautiful play by Jonsnow. I absolutely love it. GG's. GG, well played, dudes. Thank you very much for the games, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back 2 days from now, guys. That's my Thursday, Wednesday for you guys. The same time, 10 p.m. Eastern US time, with the next cheese down. That's right, Haas versus No Regret. The last time, No Regret beat him 4-0. In their first cheese down, it was a 4-3 reversal. Haas went up... No, it was almost a reversal. No Regret went up 3-0. Haas then won 3 games, and then No Regret barely clinched the ace. In the rematch, No Regret, he had identified Haas's ladder account, knew his build, and blind counted it and 4-0'd him. Haas is out for revenge. He wants some money, so tune into that one. It's going to be amazing. For you guys here, I'm not going anywhere. We are still